All right, Steelers fans, going to take a quick look at Broderick Jones, cut up a bunch of his plays from his first NFL start, the first-round pick left tackle of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and just going to dive into some of these snaps and try to assess, how he played basically in this game. More than anything, was pretty impressed with what I saw, and just want to walk you through some of the reps. Thought you guys would be interested in seeing the tape and even what he's learned and improved on from the last time he was out on the field the week before when he replaced Dan Moore, who left the game injured. So some good things from Broderick Jones. I actually don't know the order of these plays. I cut them all, and then I put them all in a video file, and I don't even know the order, so I'm going to watch each play with y'all. I've seen them all, obviously, but I don't know the order they're in on here, so we're just going to kind of walk through them after we watch them. Okay, so a little game here from the Eagles, or from the Ravens. You can see this is a TE stunt, so the tackle goes first as the crasher. The end loops to come through here. Really good job. Ciamalo actually commits a good bit here and makes a great recovery. He really helps secure this, which is good. And this guy, this edge rusher for the Ravens, probably could come down into this space a little bit harder, make that loop a little bit tighter. Ciamalo picks him up and really walls him off beautifully. This is about as good as it gets, though, in terms of execution at least. Jones immediately, what's he looking for, right? Pre-snap. He may know something to look for pre-snap, but post-snap, he's really looking for what's the body language, what's this guy doing. As soon as he stops, and this guy stops his rush upfield and starts to break inside, look where Jones' eyes go, right here. Picking up the crasher. Picks him up. Great job. So it's great mental processing, very quick reaction times. You really want to see that from offensive linemen. How quick are your reaction times? How explosive are your movements when you see those, when you make those reactions? And you can see this immediately snaps, gets into position, gets his hands inside. It's just a great work. And this was something he struggled with at the beginning of the last game they were playing. When he came in for Dan Moore, immediately got hit with a couple twists and looked like it was all moving too fast for him. So to already make this adjustment, and this is pretty consistent throughout the game, I felt like this adjustment from him was something that he did well. Pretty encouraging sign for him, I think. So great play there. Let's see what we got here. I'll let it run and then we'll talk about it. Okay, good job. Another good rep here. Love the explosiveness out of his stance, right? You can see ball moves, he's moving, right? Explosiveness, doesn't overset, gets to half-man relationship, right? You can see the bull rush is coming, gets his hands inside, braces himself for the bull. Look at the full extension here, lockout, good. And you can see the hips are where you want him to be. He's in good position here. Guy tries to work to his edge, and he drives him up the arc. Maybe you eventually get to a point where you're latching here a little bit, and that guy can't come away from the block as he does here. Looks like number 50's edge or elbow gets right under there. So some good leverage by him. Try and get that arm off, but Jones does a good job fighting him off. It's a good rep. It's a good rep. It's not perfect, but it's a good rep for sure. So good stuff. And again, it starts with the explosiveness out of the stance. That's one of the first things you notice about Jones is real quick out of his stance, twitchy and smooth in the pass set. Just watch this. Boom, boom, and the power. Yeah, that's what you want. It's what it should look like from left tackle. Oh, nice catch, George Pickens. Glad to see they're throwing to you down the field again. Here we go. Out of the stance again, right? Look, wider technique this time, so the footwork has to change. You're going to see him get more width, right, to establish that half-man relationship, and then the punch. So let's watch the full rep here. Width, punch, great placement, counters the spin. Really good rep. Footwork, boom, boom, in that half-man relationship, right? Half-man meaning like this helmet of the defender down the middle, or this, helmet of the defender should be down this outside half of the tackle. Tackle wants to maintain that relationship, so he's still got leverage to the inside, but he's also able to he doesn't want him to be full man, full body outside of this outside shoulder too, because then he's going to be at risk of losing the edge. So you establish half man, you don't overcommit. You don't want to be head up on him because then you're giving up the inside. You want to keep inside leverage while still having some position on the outside to be able to at least run him up the arc. And biggest issue with Jones coming out of college, excuse me, that you've heard us talk about on the podcast even, is that his strike timing and placement have kind of been all over the place. So the strike timing here is really good. Gets to half-man relationship. Arms are still down, right, for the defender. So he's going to fire, and he's going to win first contact, right? Sometimes you don't want to fire too early. You're not that obsessed with winning first contact because it could ultimately be a bad thing for you if the edge rusher has a counter. This looks like he's dropped the hands there, so he's accelerating up the arc. He is trying to pump those arms for maximum speed up the arc. And so Jones is able to get and establish the relationship with the footwork, and then the punch ends that fight. He can't win the edge anymore. Jones is in position. He's walled him off, tries this feeble little inside spin. Jones doesn't overcommit. He's there, got the hands on the back. He's controlling it. That spin's not going to move that defender past Jones. And so, yeah, it's just a very, very good rep. Great, powerful punch, too. You can see how it really stuns him. I mean, you could see the small recoil there as he hits him. Boom. You could see the recoil, right? That Dan Moore doesn't have that. Just telling you, Dan Moore doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. All right, here we go. This is against Clowney. This is the real deal here. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Wider technique again. Clowney still got that burst off the ball. What you love is that Jones can match that. I think he honestly could maybe oversets here a little bit. Clowney wants to get inside, and he actually looks like a swat. Clowney kind of can't decide whether he's swatting and kind of misses here, and his momentum kind of turns this into a spin, I think. It's a little bit of a sloppy. His idea is good for Clowney. He's trying to hit him with his inside spin, which is how I'd want to attack Jones too, but he just really doesn't execute it too well, and Jones is able to, I can't tell from this angle if he gets his arm knocked down, but look at just the recovery. I mean, he just got hit by Clowney, and just the lightness on his feet to be able to recover, dance back inside, stay on Clowney. Clowney steps on Siamalu's foot there, it looks like, and falls over. But it's just a really good rep. Like, he's just in position the whole way. This is a strong inside counter. Clowney kind of loses his technique a little bit, but Jones is able to just mirror him the whole way and stick with him. I mean, these can be reps where you're firing out trying to win this contact and you're off balance all of a sudden. And for the fact that he can not really land this punch, but still continue to look at this. I mean, he's just right with him the whole way. It's definitely impressive stuff. It's a great rep. Okay, so is it a hold? Is it not a hold? That is the question, right? Tricky one, I'd say. Again, the explosiveness out of the stance gets him with this hesitation move, right? 50 kind of stops, like he's going to hesitate and come back inside. Jones stops, fires his hand, right? And it's too late. 50's already kind of on his edge now. So he's lost that half-man relationship. He's allowed 50 to get to his edge. This outside hand is strong. I think he's okay here, and then he kind of lets go as 50 gets to the top. See, you can see he doesn't really drag him. So I think he's okay. Obviously, the ref's looking right at it, lets it go. This one, you see it go both ways. It's not the ideal situation you want to be in. Right there, once he realizes he's fired his hand, it's too late. 50's already reduced the surface area. That punch is not going to land square. By the time he gets his hand on him, 50's already working his way up the field. So basically, the only thing between him and the pocket, between 50 and the pocket, is this arm. And he's kind of got to steer this guy, keep his feet moving. This step saves him here, honestly. If you watch this step right there, he's pushing him up the arc, and I think that kept him from getting too far out over his skis where this became an egregious hold. So again, it's not perfect. It isn't a perfect rep for sure, but this is the thing with Jones that we kept coming back to on the podcast if you listen. It's that he can win in these situations where not everything is perfect yet. Like, you're going to find yourself in these spots in the NFL because opposing edge rushers are so good. Can you keep winning in these spots in the NFL? Can you find ways, basically, to get through some of these reps where your technique isn't perfect or where you got hit by a fake with a little bit? And that's what he consistently kind of finds ways to do on tape. So it's not a perfect rep. It's things that need to be brushed up on and made better. But it's certainly a rep where you can see, like, there's just so many tools and so many traits, and he's strong, and he's quick, and he's good balance, that all these traits are kind of helping him survive as he learns how to play the position. Another good rep here. He's looking here. He's got eyes, right? He's looking to see if anybody's coming. So good processing, and he gets out here. Now, this punch is pretty early. He can just be a little bit more patient. I think that's going to work better for him, right? Gets his hands knocked down. This cross chop works, right? The hand is knocked down. He should be off balance here. He should lose this rep. It's a good move by the defender, but he just stays with it and pushes him wide. His balance is unbelievable already. Just the recovery quickness that he has to get that hand knocked down. A lot of these guys, look how he's out over his skis. He's punched too early. He's just in a bad spot. He kind of messed up the beginning of the rep. But then look, he's just able to recover. Like, there's just not many guys who could do that. We're able to recover and run you up the arc. And look, Pickett's here, and he's a couple yards deep. He's 4 yards deeper than where Pickett is, basically. He's not getting there. It's harder to tell from this angle, but he's pushed him out of the play, essentially, unless Pickett holds that ball way too long. So these are this is exactly what we're talking about on the podcast. Can you win in disadvantageous situations where your technique is maybe you've gotten a little bit, and this isn't egregious, I wouldn't say, but again, these hesitation moves, he wasn't quite sure how to handle them. When these guys kind of hesitated him, and which way are they going? I just want to land the first punch and end it. Well, it's got to be careful in the NFL. These guys are so good, but again, trust his ability to recover, and he does there, so good stuff. Okay, here we go again against 95. Sorry, I don't know anybody's number now that they all switched. I know all these players. I just don't know who they are on this tape. But Jones gets out of his stance quick. Look at the punch right there. Might have got a little high. Looks like he caught him in the chin almost. No, in the neck. A little neck punch. That'll stun you. Good job by 95, though. He kind of wards that off. His hands are very active for him. So this punch, although it lands, he's able to get off it pretty quick. Doesn't slow him down too much. Again, independent hand usage, something I talked about on the last podcast with Brad. You can see this here. Single hand strike. If it's a double hand strike, he's probably going to be more off balance, and it makes moving up the arc harder because you committed both arms. And so now you're off balance a little bit. Again, right there, punch, counter from the defender. He's still moving up the arc. You're able to mirror him. Single hand strike again. Continue to push him up the arc. Defender is working on trying to cross chop and bring that hand down. You've kind of got your other hand there to guide him and lead him up the arc. And look how deep he is. He's so deep. 5 yards, 6 yards behind where Pickett is. Like, there's just, again, you can tell these things more from the high angle, how deep they are. But if you stop and kind of look at the yardage, like, yeah, it's just, he's way out of this play. So yeah, it's not totally perfect in terms of this guy's hand fighting pretty effectively. But it's way more good than bad. You're just able to win these reps. Independent hand usage, strength, quickness to be able to continue with this and mirror this. It's good stuff, good traits. I think this is a run rep. I don't know how this got in here, but it's a great rep. This one's a running play, yeah. Looks like outside zone here to the left. Actually, a really well-blocked play by everybody. Siamalu does a great job here as well. This is a good block by Jones. Queen kind of comes off of it at the end. But yeah, to get in space against one of the most athletic linebackers in the league and make this block, get that kind of turn and movement, driving down the field. I mean, that's the biggest hole Najee's seen in a while. Good fill by the safety there. But yeah, any OC's taking that every time. And that's the thing with Broderick. You're going to get more movement in the run game. So that's probably one of his best reps in the run game there. Like to see that. Okay, here's the clearest loss of the game, I think, for him, I would say. He actually ends up on the ground. Good one to review and kind of talk about some of the weaknesses. So here's the overset, right? This is where you get tricky a little bit. You're trying to establish this half man. Clowney's so explosive. He's outside the tight end. You feel like you need to get on your horse to get there, and boom, he's good there, and he's good there. And then this third kick slide is where he loses him. He opens up too big a gap. And it's one of the things you kind of have to be aware of is when you're out here on an island and you don't have help to your inside, which you know pre-snap if this 3 comes, then you're not going to have help inside. So you just got to be real cautious about how much you're kick sliding. You can see it here. 1, 2, 3. It's the third one where it carries him way past, right? You're usually good with 2, 2.5 sometimes, depending on how explosive the guy is. But as soon as he gets out on that third one, Clowney knows he's got the opportunity to beat him inside. It's not really a true swim, but it kind of ends up working like a swim, basically. And he's able to flush, pick it out, and chase him down. And look, Clowney wearing number 24 is truly a crime. Just absolutely ridiculous stuff. But overset there. And then when he tries to punch, it's over. Clowney's already by him, so he's hitting nothing. He's battling air there, and he's not able to recover on this one. Clowney's quick. He actually almost is able to. I mean, this is unreal that he's even able to get a piece there and kind of steer Clowney out of the way. The recovery ability of Jones, I would say, is up there with anybody I've scouted. Like the fact that he can kind of get something wrong and still find a way to like battle through it on this rep. It's not ideal. You definitely don't want it. He almost took Mason Cole out here, actually. If you see, maybe he's watched Mason Cole's tape recently and he thinks this might be helpful for the team, but sorry, that was uncalled for. Here we go. Let's see another one. Yeah, great stuff. This is the bull rush. If guys think they're going to get him with a bull rush, like he's sending a pretty clear message with his first 2 tapes that like you're not going to get me like that. It's Clowney again. Gets those hands. Yeah, this is good. This is an interesting one because he's clearly trying to fire these hands inside, but Clowney kind of slips inside of his hands and actually wins like the leverage. He's the low man here. Wins the leverage battle, and then watch Jones just drop his hips. Look at this base. And he's just like, not today, buddy. And then he becomes the low man, right? And he's kind of got leverage on Clowney. He's jumping, trying to bat down that ball, but he stops this quick. One walk back, and then boom, he sits down on power. That is, his hands aren't even really fitted there, and he's still doing this against a top-notch bull rusher. That's some serious power in the hips. When he drops anchor, it's over. So just NFL-ready body, NFL-ready strength, balance, power, agility, like all of those things are true. Now it's just about refining the technique, the strike timing, the placement, the footwork, all of those things are what will need to be developed. Let's take a look at this last rep. I love this rep from a mental processing standpoint. Okay, so manhandles the guy, right? Check out his mental processing here. Takes off. What's he see? Right away, this guy's kind of like, chopping his feet, not really getting upfield. So what is he thinking? He's thinking this could be a game. See his eyes? Look, he's waiting for this crasher. Is this crasher coming? Is this guy looping inside? Am I going to need to pass this off? So just really good awareness. It doesn't come. That's not what's happening here. Look in the meantime, while he's thinking about, is this guy coming? I'm going to pick up this crasher. I'll send you this looper, Siamalu, and we'll pick this up again just like we did at the beginning of the game. He's able to just control this guy with one arm as he's doing this. Look, he's doing almost all this work with one arm. And he just shuts him down. So it's the traits you want to see from a developmental dominant left tackle are there. And all the technique isn't there yet. But he's already improved from a mental processing standpoint from the game 1 to game 2 pretty considerably. Ravens up there with the different pressures that they send, the amount of twists that they run. I don't think he got beat by a twist all day. Was all over those games and stunts, just like I showed you in the first rep. Really on the lookout for those kind of things. And then even just some of the improved technique, like he seemed like he knew what these rushers wanted to do, and it's just way more good than bad. It's very comforting after he looked pretty rough in that first action. He'll see better one-on-one opponents than he saw in this game, but the traits here should translate against everybody. Some guys will take advantage of his technique, but I think the traits are so good that I don't worry about him being overwhelmed in any of these matchups, to be honest with you. He's a very talented prospect that might be developing faster than I anticipated he would in the NFL. We'll see. It's just one start, but in this start, I already saw growth from the last game, so pretty encouraging stuff from Broderick Jones.